Hello, Terry.
Hey,
This is Barack. Where are you from?
from South Carolina.
Oh, well, clear across the country.
Yep. Where are you from?
Olympia, Washington.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Definitely a time change.
Yep. Yep.
Hello. Can
Hello.
people hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me just 1 second. Let me just get my headset. Okay. Can you guys hear me well?
Can you hear you great?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to start by going through some of these questions here. You guys, I'm not signed on to the, doesn't seem like I'm signed on to, okay, we got to figure something out. We changed the password or username, and then it doesn't seem like I'm able to mute you guys.
Okay. Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, so just mute yourselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Because there's just some more background noise. Okay, thanks. All right. So what are your thoughts on saliva testing for sex hormones? Is the blood test better? Are there pros and cons for each type of testing? The answer is that blood tests are better for almost all of them, but it's easier to test saliva hormones. You can test a lot of hormones in one shot, and you can do it with like a kit that you send in. Rather, with the blood ones, you have to go and get your blood drawn. So there is benefits to saliva testing, but it's not as accurate as blood testing in terms of the accuracy. Okay. I bought some pure beta caryophyllene. What kind of dosage should I use? Here's a link to the product. I personally just use 1 drop. When I've stopped those experiments for a bit, but when I was experimenting with it, I used 1 drop or something. Yeah. I've been self-hacking. Okay, any recommendations regarding the ISIS looking at A9 versus M1 Size differences seem minimal. However, 1 versus 30 protocols might be significant. The one protocol for the A9 is optimized for major chronic pain and orthopedic injury. Other protocols of M1 are not referenced with any symptoms, just resonances, PPS values. We intend to use for musculoskeletal issues, chronic fatigue. I would go with the A9. It's a lot more simple. The other one can get very complex. So I would just go with the A9. I've been self-hacking for more than 20 years as I have struggled with CFS and find traditional doctors useless. One doctor puts it all down to dysautonomia, which offers with no offer of help. I am positive for vasovagal on the tilt table test, and my blood pressure is always low. Have nearly all the symptoms plus more, including hypothyroid, which is resistant to oroxine, as I have reverse T3. I'm probably Th2 dominant, though I have some symptoms of Th17. What SNP should I look out for? We have a so if you have CFS, okay, I wouldn't. We don't have any like CFS SNPs or GenePack. But there, I would look out for some HLA genes. Number one, I would look out for. We have a GenePack for Th2, and I think maybe Th17. I'm not sure. Might want to look in those GenePacks, but in general, there's not that much research as to the genes and CFS. Yeah, it could be. I mean, there are some genes, but we don't have any. It's not like we don't have any organized gene pack. I would just say like HLA genes, some serotonin receptor genes have been found to be involved with CFS. Is it true that animal proteins and fats increase inflammation and cancer risk in the human body? No, it does not. Animal protein can increase IGF-1 and mTOR and some growth pathways in the body. But generally, it doesn't cause cancer. It just can make cancer grow a little faster if you already have it. Fats don't either increase cancer unless, or inflammation unless you're taking in way too much. So if you're consuming a lot of fats, especially saturated fats, then it could increase inflammation. But otherwise, fats or normal amounts of protein, doesn't matter where it's from. So animal protein has a little more methionine and leucine maybe, so that's why they say animal protein. But essentially any protein that you eat is going to do the same thing. It's going to increase those growth pathways. So I wouldn't really, the whole animal protein thing is nonsense. It's just that if you're eating a lot of animal foods, you're going to get more protein. Essentially, that's what it's about. And if you have too much protein, it could, not be ideal for you to have cancer. Do you have any longevity tips? What would you say is a good longevity optimized diet? Honestly, this is a can of worms. With the self-hack protocol, we talk about how to find your optimal diet. And again, it's different for each person. That's why it's not something I could just answer in 2 minutes. In terms of supplements, drugs, lifestyle choices, I'd say, there's no secrets. I don't think it's a combination of things. Like if let's say you wanted there's just a bunch of supplements that work with the same pathways, and they all might increase longevity a bit. But I'm not that gung ho on doing a lot of these things for longevity, because longevity doesn't really get altered that much with pretty much anything you do in terms of like supplements or diet. It does change, but it's like maybe 5% or something. You might live a couple extra years, not like another 30 years or something. So, taking a lot of these supplements, maybe, or, living very healthy, what it will do is it'll prevent disease. So if you end up dying from a disease, it'll prevent that. But in terms of just like, preventing aging or like living a lot longer, I think it could, a lot of these things could maybe increase your longevity by 5 to 10 years. And, most of it's things that, like diet, like, exercise, getting a good amount of exercise in, not too much, not too little. Stress reduction, circadian rhythm entrainment, getting enough light and sun. I mean, these things are all important, but, staying away from toxins and keeping infections under control. At the end of the day, though, there's nothing that is going to make a massive difference. I mean, but these supplements can make, or lifestyle choices, just living very healthy can prevent disease, which if you have a disease, you can, you can die a lot sooner. But in terms of like maximum longevity, it can't really make you live from, 80 to 120. Just not going to do that. Okay. So I have active viruses and autoimmune issues. EBV, West Nile, Sjogren's, arthritis, IBS, Hashis. What are the best recommendations for this scenario? I would take, things that will increase your. Okay, so you want to take anti-inflammatories, but also things that can prevent infections. So, like lactoferrin is something that is anti-infectious, but it doesn't make autoimmune issues worse. So I'd say that's a good one. There's other things as well that can increase the immune function without making autoimmune issues worse. PRP is not bad. I mean, it does increase the immune system a bit, but lactoferrin is probably the single best thing you can do. Monolaurin is also good. It's not going to increase immunity. And coconut oil. What else is there? I mean, natural, things like curcumin is going to be antimicrobial, prevent viruses, and at the same time reduce inflammation. So things that you want to take immune suppressant supplements like olive leaf extract is going to be good. Things like that. So curcumin, olive leaf extract, oregano oil, lactoferrin, and these things aren't going to increase immunity too much. Good evening. I write this almost a year after trying every possible site, product, and information I found through research. I'll try to be short and get to the point. I imagine you are inundated with questions, all considered important. I overcame a heroin addiction 50 years ago. Okay. Never missing or returning to use. Then it raised its ugly head again when I suffered necrosis of a femoral bone, and with Oxycontin and morphine got through the 1.5 years of getting the right diagnosis and the subsequent surgery, which was a great success, sort of. I kicked the Oxycontin habit with ayahuasca capsules in a clinic in Holland, but suffered a horrible experience of vomiting, bowel incontinence, and loss of sight. Depression that empty feeling for weeks after. Completely out of touch with desired function. My sight returned to normal after almost 8 months, but I took up snorting, occasionally heroin, cocaine. So, not to sound like a total loser, the cocaine habit was easy to dismiss, but the heroin keeps hanging on. My intake is about 1 gram every 2 weeks as I remain as I remain in constant withdrawal symptoms as not to up the dosage. Here in Italy, they're offering only methadone, which obviously I refuse to take, as is another synthetic opiate that it feels much harder to kick. I've bought GABA, L-theanine, rhodiola, DLPA, NAC, and Trucom from now. Tried meditation combo with some calming results. Coming from the pharmaceutical Rivotril. Okay, so the question is, I've tried everything and I know there must be some way to stop, but not the usual traditional methods. We have a post called 30 Ways to Increase Opioids Naturally. And you're going to want to find that and try to implement all the things. So for example, ice baths can do a good job, and sun is going to do a good job. They both increase opioids. But there's a whole list of things you could do, like vagus nerve stimulation, like yoga is going to be good as well. So the most powerful things I would say is yoga, ice baths, and sun. Now, let's see. I'm not sure where you live here, but I hope you live in a sunny place. Okay. So I would go through all those recommendations. Dealing with depression, anxiety, and OCD, insomnia, and severe eczema, I've started to address the first three issues as an undermethylation, pyroli, blood disorder, and copper toxicity problem. I tested positive for all three. I gather that eczema is a thyroid, HPA axis, and Th2 dominance issue. What is the most effective treatment if taken by this perspective? I'm currently on potent corticosteroid creams and would like to wean off them soon. What are the key issues I should be focusing on? You definitely have an immune imbalance. Anyone with eczema needs to be getting a lot of sun on their skin. Let's see. Also, stress and sleep are big for eczema. So you want to try to get more sleep, reduce stress. In terms of, let's see, zinc might help with these conditions. Undermethylation. So let's see, what's the question? I'm currently on potent corticosteroid creams. What are the key issues I should be focusing on? For the eczema, the top three things are going to be sun. What else? Stress reduction and sleep. My daughter is very skinny. I tested her blood insulin and is 2.3 by reference. Okay. So she's got low insulin. Blood glucose is 75 milligrams. HbA1c is 5.1. Are there kids with low insulin values that are non-diabetics? Yes. If she's thin, she'll have low insulin. That's just the way it works. Insulin tracks essentially. She needs to eat more carbs, but carbs that don't cause inflammation. So, preferably high maize and honey. But yeah, if she wants to increase weight, she's going to need to increase insulin, and her insulin is not it's not a diabetic issue. My insulin used to be 2.3, and I didn't have diabetes or anything. It's more of a being thin, and not low insulin is going to make someone thinner. It also goes the opposite way if you have less. In general, insulin correlates with weight quite a lot. So, because insulin activates a lot of weight gain pathways. Anyway, I don't think this is diabetes. No, it's almost certainly not from my perspective. Do you recommend any other carb source besides honey and high mace? If you can tolerate it, which, you know, a lot of people could tolerate sweet potatoes, some fruits, they can tolerate different kinds of safer carbs, maybe white rice, some people. So the answer is if you could tolerate it. Do you know anything that could help regrow lost hair? There are a lot of things that can help regrow lost hair. The question is how long ago you lost it. If you lost it like 10 years ago, then probably not. If you lost it maybe a year ago, then probably yeah. So number one is I would just buy minoxidil. It works and it's topical. It's not like you're ingesting it. I would also, there's, you know, putting on like maybe deer antler velvet, which has IGF-1, could be good. Retinol cream might be good. And then what else is there? Caffeine could stimulate hair growth topically. Adenosine. So I'll buy, I sometimes, I bought adenosine capsules, put them in water, spray bottle, and I'll spray my hair a bit. So adenosine is good. And let's see what else. Those are the main things. Decreasing DHT, of course, is going to be important. Let's see. So ketoconazole, which is, you know, you can get a shampoo, like 1%. You can buy it over the counter. That could help. And that's going to, you know, might work in different ways, like by decreasing androgens in the scalp. Yeah. So those are the main ways that I'd suggest. Any recommendations for low estradiol? Yeah, there's a lot of plant phytoestrogens. You can try those, like kudzu, you know, soy products. You can try like tempeh. And then there's like hops is an estrogenic compound. Yeah, there's a couple natural estrogenic compounds that you should look into and try to see which one works best for you. There's also the dong quai, which is like a women's herb. You might want to try that as well. Can I take Forskolin, resveratrol, and NAD plus together? Can I take them with acetylcholinesterase inhibitors? The answer is yes. Yes. And will that lower my blood pressure too much? No, shouldn't. It, you know, it's possible if it's really low already, then maybe, but essentially, it shouldn't make a substantial difference. Is caprylic acid from palm oil safe? It is. Caprylic acid from anywhere is safe. You just don't want to take too much. I recommend not more than 2 teaspoons or 10 grams if you're measuring it with a, if you're measuring it with a scale. I'm lazy and unmotivated. I have a hard time focusing on job and being productive. I'm daydreaming a lot, and sometimes I have a hard time focusing on conversation. Do you think it's possible that it's because of some sort of inflammation in the body? Yes, it is. More likely that you just have low dopamine. What kind of things can you do for more mental clarity and motivation? I would take pregnenolone and nicotine, get some more light. I would exercise and try to get more sleep. Maybe some tyrosine, some dopaminergics. We have posts on how to increase dopamine. Which extroversion, like Mucuna is another one. Which extroversion olive oil brand would you recommend? I don't have any specific recommendation. Hi Joe, which light device? I mean, the olive oil there's a lot of scammy things going on in that industry. You just want to get like a very well-known brand. Hi, Joe. Which light device would you recommend for seasonal affective disorder? Which in my case, related to or amplified by impaired dopamine function. I live in Europe with long, dark winters. I don't have any specific recommendation. I would say just look at which ones are rated well. Most of them are going to work, and it's not going to make that much of a difference. But just look at the ratings. The thing with that was, I know what the best devices would have been maybe 3-4 years ago. It's probably changed now. So, just look for it on your own. Hi, so I'm looking forward to the webinar. I banged my head in a car trunk yesterday, mild symptoms, and I have history of significant concussion. Happens to receive an ISIS and been experimenting. Just wondering, any thoughts on using? I would use the LLT for brain trauma more. So the Vilite, or just using the CCTV camera. So Dr. Pollack highly recommends. I realize the A9 protocol for orthopedic injury, but seems to be recommended for others as well. Thanks so much. Yeah, I think LLT is going to be more effective for that. All right, so we finished the questions here. Does anyone have any more questions? You can put it in the chat section. And we've got nothing. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. And no new cases here. All right. So that's pretty much it for today. I will be seeing you guys next time, and we'll be in touch. It's great seeing you guys, and I look forward to the next time.
Joe,
Yes?
can I just ask you, what is LLT?
That's infrared. If you look up the post on Self-Hacked, you'll see all about infrared and the devices.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, look up on what website?
Self-Hacked?
Oh, on yours. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you wouldn't use this ISIS for this at all?
I would. Well, not that I wouldn't. It's just that I don't know if it's as good.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's as good as the infrared.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much, and thank you for your all your great contributions. Appreciate it.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye, Joe.
Bye-bye.